Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our Paws On Comics segment.
And today we are covering the Webtoon series turned manhwa book, Batman Wayne Family Adventures.
Yes, and what's pretty exciting is we haven't gotten a really good comic from DC, in a while, based on the Bat Family or Batman. This is absolutely delightful. We've read 5 issues. You can read the issues free on DCUniverseInfinite.com if you don't have it. And it basically involves just the everyday life, slice of life of the Wayne family, Bruce Wayne and all his many children.
Yes.
And it is fun, delightful. You got a couple issues that go kind of weird and a little dark, but the majority of it is great family fun. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe in case we some future podcasts and want to pause videos.
Thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing to our channels, commenting everything you do. We appreciate you so much, guys. Thank you. I want to tell you a little quick background on this. This actually was an all-female creation.
Wow, okay. Actually, didn't know that.
The artwork was CRC Payne, and they were drawn by 7 artists. Starbright, Maria Lee, Lon Ma, Susie Blake, Jean Kim, and Rachel Koo. I think I said 7, but it's 6. So this is an all-female work.
Right.
And we were very surprised to find that. So how is it described? Batman needs a break, but with new vigilante Duke Thomas moving into Wayne Manor, and with an endless supply of Bat kids,
right,
children to manage, Bruce Wayne is going to have his hands full. Being a father can't be harder than being Batman, right?
Right.
Well, we read the first and second volumes. So we're going to go over the first volume first quickly. The first volume, I actually loved the first volume. It was so much fun. It was so lighthearted. You got to see all of the Bat kids that you've heard about, read about, or seen in series or in movies.
Right.
And they had a style of their own, even though you had these 6 different artists. And sometimes it changed. There really was a distinct style and look to the characters in this webtoon and in this graphic novel series.
Right. And it is exactly what it says, is Little Wayne Family Adventures. They don't really go into these high stakes, long arcs. They're really episodic. They're only maybe a few minutes long if you watch them on Webtoons or see a live dubbing of it like a motion comic, or if you're reading it in the physical form. They're really not long chapters or episodes, and they're mostly fun. They have little funny little setups and payoffs at the end where it's just, okay, those silly bad people. And majority of the time, for the first volume, they do keep in line with the characters. You know they can't go aggressively hard with their action and everything because it's meant to be pretty much safe for everyone to read, and they succeed with that. And I do like that everyone was still in character but put in a more family friendly light without destroying the characters.
Definitely. And in this first volume, it sticks to that 100%.
Right.
You have Duke come in, and I love how he's welcomed by all the other kids, and he just seamlessly fits in because they do everything to make him feel welcome, to make him feel like he's being a part of the family, to make him feel like, hey, this is how it goes, and you're one of us, and they're just happy to have him. And I love that. They didn't have the angst, they didn't have the you don't fit in, they didn't have the you gotta prove you're one of us and all that garbage you've seen in a lot of other books.
Right.
It wasn't like that. It was wholesome.
Right.
And sweet and fun. And sometimes that's just what you want to read. And we really haven't had a Batman series that's been like that.
Right.
And I think so many people have wanted this for many years, seeing him with all his kids and just having a loving family. In here, they kind of toned him down. Of course, he's not real serious Batman.
And then the Batman.
He's Bat Dad. And he wants to be liked, and he wants to be popular. And he shows that he loves every single one of them.
Right.
And he really makes Duke feel welcome as well. Who did get downgraded a little, we were kind of surprised, was Alfred. But it wasn't in the first book. In the first book, you know, he's Alfred Mom. And
pretty much.
He's Bat Dad. And it works. In the first book, it absolutely works.
Right. and you had just a lot of fun reading about these characters. Not everyone was in every single chapter,
Right.
but you enjoy the screen time they had, and then playing off each other and kind of having their own way of canonically addressing some little fan headcanons people had about how they interact with each other when they're not fighting crime, and I think that paid off well.
And you can definitely tell that it was anime inspired because they made sure that all the characters were attractive, and then the older ones like Nightwing or Dick Grayson
Right.
and Jason were hot. They did it on purpose. It was absolutely on purpose. You could tell they wanted a particular group of
Guess
people
so,
to read
yeah.
it. But what comes across is the fun and how everyone gets along, and it's not perfect. You're not thinking about going, okay, so it's just perfect and nothing wrong. They
Right.
have a few little things happen, but you see how they work out their differences
Right.
amongst themselves. They're not running to Bruce all the time. They've
Right.
learned how to cooperate and interact with each other, respect each other,
Mm-hmm.
and give each other space. Never, especially when they're dating,
Right.
which is really fun because it's almost like you're watching maybe a DC version of the Brady Bunch. Honestly.
Yeah. The
Or
Batman
what's
Bunch.
the other one you like?
I got the Batman Bunch, or Christopher Jones
No,
does
the
that a
movie
lot.
that you like when they have
Oh,
all
cheaper,
the kids.
cheaper
Yes,
by the dozen.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Cheaper by the dozen. It's like that.
Yes.
So the first volume is absolutely fantastic. I definitely recommend you read it. You will absolutely love it. Then we get to Batman Wayne Family Adventures Volume 2. Problem is, it's not the same.
Yes.
This volume brought all the angst and seriousness and stuff you didn't
All
want
of
to
a
see
sudden, yes.
in this series into the mix.
Right. And I think that became at least a turn off for us. There might be some people that have been okay with it, but we weren't because of what was introduced in the first book to not match the second book. They still had some lighthearted stuff, but they started bringing in more characters from the DC universe. They started bringing in Superman, Justice League, their sidekicks, Superman's parents hanging out with Alfred. I guess the parents talking about their kids they take care of, and I guess that one was done a little well. The Bat family pets, the super pets started having chapters, and I didn't even know what they were doing with that. Duke went out with the girl. He finally asked her out, and then got dumped the very next episode, which
and
made
you
no
were happy
sense.
when it first happened because it was really sweet the way they did it. And it's like someone said, "Oh no,
The
can't
very-
have that. We gotta wish it." And then
Ooh.
it turned around and ruined it.
Yeah, and that's not the only one that happened with. There are several chapters in here where bad things happen to these characters, and it's so strange that it happened so quickly. Like, they had a running gag with Jason Todd, which I didn't find all that funny, but they kept it in where the joke is that, Jason died, and he came back, and he died and came back. Isn't that funny? It was kind of like, wasn't funny in the first one, but you're like, okay, we'll let it slide.
And then later on, they decided to give him PTSD in the same volume.
And it was
it's
taken seriously.
What happened to all the lightheartedness and fun that was in the first volume?
Exactly. Then Cassandra Cain had where she was still holding on to the past when her father trained her to be assassin, and she was still trying to let the past go when she had this whole heart-to-heart build herself back up thing with Barbara, which made no sense because she didn't have this the first book. Damien can't function around other people
Suddenly.
and it's like and this is also because according to DC in the last graphic novel in charge of Damien, they didn't like Damien was basically a child assassin trained by Ra's al Ghul, and he was bad-mouthing Batman, talking back, being disrespectful, being a punk or a jerk. So they toned him down and lined it up so where he didn't seem like a disrespectful brat. And in here, he's toned down so much, he needs to keep calling and asking them how to make friends and give advice, when before he wouldn't give a dang about that. He would mind his own business and keep going. He was too cool for that.
And what was really weird is in the first volume, he still had the edge.
Yeah.
He was getting along with them, but he still had that edge
Exactly.
that you liked. And it was a perfect balance. But all of a sudden, you get to volume 2, and it's like,
What
what's
happened?
going on here?
Right.
What happened?
And then the final one would be how the family members now act with each other. They're still on friendly terms. They still hang out. You have the little big bro, little bro, big sis, little sis dynamic still out in there. But then they start focusing on more dating stuff and Tim stuff, which of course nothing was gonna happen with him. They let him stay happy, but Duke got dumped in one chapter. And then the last one would be they started portraying more of the male members as incompetent.
Yeah.
And the worst one that they thought was hilarious, but it really wasn't, was that Batman, Duke, Damian, Dick, Jason, none of the guys knew how to tie a tie. Only Alfred did. And when they called the Justice League, none of the male Justice League members knew how to tie a tie. Only Wonder Woman and Alfred knew how to tie a tie.
And
it's
Alfred
like
had left for the day or
yeah,
two.
and they were so frazzled they couldn't do it. No matter what cool guy they called, none of them knew how to tie a tie themselves. One woman told them how to do it. When it's like the easy solution is to go online and watch a YouTube video.
And I think, unfortunately, this casts a negative light because once you learn that all women wrote it, that means this was deliberately done.
Yeah.
And you don't understand why they would take that approach
Yeah.
when the first book was so fantastic.
Right.
It's like you're reading two different series. And that's unfortunate because, again, I love the first one. I couldn't wait to get to the second one, and then I was totally disappointed in the second one. And you can also see that the style
And the mood, yeah.
the style of the characters, the look of them has changed.
Yeah.
With 6 different people, maybe it rotates, I'm not sure, but you can tell there was a difference between volume 1 and volume 2.
It's almost like they were trying to be Bluey in a way, where they're trying to have the more serious subject matters, but handle in a lighthearted way, but it doesn't work here because you already finished completing the first book where you handled it well, but now we gotta address all of the traumatic parts of the Bat family and give everyone a therapy session so for the ones who have these things in real life are relating to this, but it's like, but they already were getting the therapy from the first one where it was just wholesome.
Absolutely. So the problem for 2 is a huge downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Will I read or choose to read any more of the volumes? I'm not sure. Got them from the library, so didn't pay for them. I would have been happy to pay
Yeah, they
for
actually
one
had them there.
and not happy to pay for 2. But we'll see. If they're there, maybe I'll go ahead and dive back in and give number 3 another try.
Right.
Because they have 1 strike with number 2. So maybe I'll read 1 or 2 more and give them a fair chance.
Right.
I'm not sure. So if you've read any volume of Wayne Family Adventures or even seen the webtoon, let us know in the comments. Did you love it like we do? Did you find it mid? Did you want something a little darker? Tell us what you think. And if you haven't read it again, you can get it at your local library, buy it online, or read it for free at dcuniverseinfinite.com/comics/series.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, videos for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribe to our channels. As always,
You are special. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
and I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man. Who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams. She was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the phone.